Let's talk about what's wrong with partisan wartime coverage, partisan foreign affairs coverage. And one of the reasons why I don't really comment a lot on foreign affairs. If I were a Ukrainian propagandist, it would be very easy for me to push out a lot of fake stories that would get eaten up by the likes of MSNBC, CNN, um, I think progressive media, folks like Brian Tyler Cohen, definitely. I could just make stuff up, the ghost of whatever and that ace guy. I mean, every one of these stories, immediately when I heard about them, they sounded suspicious. I was like, I don't know, this doesn't sound right. And my ability to recognize that just comes from me not being part of a tribe. I wasn't in the pro-Ukraine or anti-Ukraine tribe, so I'm just looking at information as it is, right? Without the cloud of the tribe loyalty. So when I saw those things, they just didn't sound right. And I am at least open to the idea that the Ukrainians would lie about things, right? They have definitely a reason to. But you won't even think like that if you're in some pro-Ukraine tribe. You're not going to pick that up. Pro-Russia tribe, same thing. If I am a Russian propagandist, it would be very easy for me to manipulate, I guess people call them tankies, I think, you know, the Jimmy Dore types, the revolutionary blackout network types, right? It would be very easy for me to make up fake stories of Ukrainian atrocities, raping Russians or whatever. Um, Many of those folks would uncritically eat it up, broadcast it, and put it out there. Ooh, liberal media is all pro-Ukraine and making them the good guys, but they don't want to talk to you about what the Ukrainians are doing to the Russian women, right? You do fake videos, whatever it is. They'll eat it all up. Look at the current conflict between Israel and Palestine. Um, Same rules apply with partisan media, right? Corporate or independent, especially independent, which is where you find some of the worst in our media. But no one in independent media will admit that, of course. They like to play with the mainstream media boogeyman, right? Mainstream media, trash. Most of independent media, even more trash, right? Because they're no holds barred. You're just some kid in the basement doing anything for clicks. You don't have the FCC on your back. You don't have a board and investors and a legal team. So it's like, do whatever you want to maximize profit. That's what you get from independent media. Alex Jones, Steven Crowder, right? And that Canadian kid who does every video about Trump. If I were a Hamas propagandist, it'd be very, very easy for me to put out information about the Israelis, killing, you know, uh, Palestinian babies, beheading them, assaulting women, intentionally targeting, locations known to be civilian. No, there's not even a suspicion that it might be Hamas there. Just literally targeting a civilian location. I could easily put that information out there, and many on the left who are countering the pro-Israeli narratives with hey, Hamas and the Palestinian civilians are not the same thing. Got to make a distinction. Hamas, we denounce, but what about the civilians, all the young kids? Those folks very easily would eat up fake videos. If I were a Hamas propagandist, I could put this stuff out online and they'll quickly jump on it. Look at this stuff. They're all pro-Israel, as if the only lives that matter is Israel. But look at what the Israeli soldiers are doing. Look at this video of what they did to a child. Fake videos, right? But the group of people that want to focus on the Palestinians and their humanity will very easily and uncritically take information that supports their narrative. They want to show that the Israelis are just as savage as Hamas, and no one's talking about it. So you put out stuff that supports that narrative. Confirmation bias. They'll jump on it, put it out there. Oh, look what CNN is talking about. Hamas this, Hamas that. But why is it every time Palestinian kid gets, beheaded or whatever. They don't want to talk about it. Fake video, right? If I'm an Israeli propagandist, you already know the answer, right? You know what's coming. If I'm an Israeli propagandist, I can easily, first of all, due to the latest strike, you don't really need to do much work. Just focus on what they actually did and just keep on, don't talk about anything else, but, just keep showing the pictures of the girls being kidnapped and the dead girl in the back of the truck, right? But let's say before this incident, so if you don't have any fresh, good material like that to push your rhetoric, I'm pretty sure they could have easily put out fake videos of Hamas or Palestinians doing atrocities, and anyone pro-Israel would quickly put it out there and try to call out other people and how come this was never reported on and you don't know what you're talking about, look at what they've done, and then they show the videos. People are only critical of information that disagrees with their narrative. This opens up an avenue for easy manipulation, right? If I want to put out propaganda which is pro-Israeli or pro-Palestinian, there's a huge audience of people that will uncritically receive this, right? People are only critical when the information challenges their narratives. Somebody pro-Israel is not going to trust you showing Israelis doing bad things. They'll do the right thing and investigate and challenge it, right? But if you show them anything that supposedly Hamas doing something, yes, those guys are savages, and vice versa. See how it works? And that's one of the biggest problems I see with the coverage of foreign affairs in partisan media, and also why I don't really get into too much, because I recognize that I don't know. I don't know what's happening in Russia. I don't know what's happening in Ukraine. I don't know what's happening on the Gaza Strip. I mean, obviously I know some things that are happening there, but, I don't have the arrogance to be too confident about, what exactly is going down. I don't have the arrogance to think that I can spot any misinformation. I can spot any propaganda. I'm not going to know, right? I'm going to see stuff and be like, oh, wow, that's messed up, and form an opinion based on lies. So to avoid that, I avoid getting too committed to talking about what people are doing in their countries, right? I live in the United States of America. Some people would say you don't have to actually be there. You can know about a lot of stuff in the United States without actually being in the actual area, but that's different. In the United States of America, this is my country. I am very, very familiar with our politics, our local ideologies, our media sources. So if CNN says something, Fox News says something, I know these organizations. I know how they report, their style, their dishonesty, their bias, right? So based on that, it's easier for me to be more confident in my understanding of what's happening in my own country. But when it comes to a foreign country, man, like I see some of these pro-Chinese people, I'm just like, wow, you guys are talking about America as such an imperialist nation, and then you're sitting there, grass is greener on the other side. I'm not saying China's imperialist at all, but the way that they're presented, the way the Chinese are presented by certain leftists, it's mind-boggling, man. It's really mind-boggling. And they say stuff with such confidence. If the Chinese wanted to push out propaganda, anti-American propaganda, and make themselves look good, there's a massive audience of people in this country that will eat it up. Fake videos, fake stories, anything that aligns with a certain narrative of China's good, socialism's good, capitalism bad, right? Look at all the stuff China's doing. They raised up the poor people, and they did this, and infrastructure, and people have health care, and da-da-da. If I'm a Chinese propagandist, I could play on all that stuff, and easily there's a massive audience in this country of people that will believe my lies and manipulation of a pro-China sentiment. China can do this, Russia can do this, Ukraine can do this, Israel can do this, and Palestine can do this. Those are my thoughts. Sit Baby channel, debate me in the comment section below. Click on the like button, subscribe, smash that bell. Be well.